Today we're building the waterfall with this up there. What's up guys, it's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. Today I'm in Lincoln Park, New Jersey. We're gonna build a pretty sweet waterfall in this backyard. First things first though, we've got to get this excavator up on that wall, which is about 7 feet tall. That's where this fellow comes in. We're gonna pick this up, we're gonna get it up on top of the wall, get into the backyard, and we'll show you what's going on. This is really an interesting project. We've got an area up here which obviously is elevated off the driveway. So we brought the machines and the material up top here. Now behind me is where we're gonna build our disappearing waterfall. You can see there's some concrete block that's been built up on top of this rock wall. That's gonna give us a nice backdrop to build against. We're gonna have a waterfall spilling off of that, probably down about 2 feet, 2.5 feet or so, and there's gonna be a whole array of cascades inside here. We're gonna be starting another waterfall back in this corner, and it's all gonna come down through here and end up in this spot. So it's gonna be a really cool little environment back here. Got gazebos, decks, there's windows to the house all over the place back there. So this is really gonna be a good viewing point for a bunch of different locations. We're gonna have some fun today. Oh yeah, and the sun's shining. It's done raining, at least for now. Obviously our first challenge is the driveway's down there, which is our only point for staging, and we got to get it up here into the backyard. It's getting cramped real fast back here, so we're gonna have to really be smart about how we excavate, how we move material around so we don't get ourselves jammed back in that corner. Then what do we do? Show where we're at so far. So Boulder's getting the rest of our reservoir dug over here. A lot of rocks in the ground here. Not as bad as we thought, but there's definitely some rocks. We've got the sides sloped in because if you try and dig gravel, it just keeps falling in. So we slope the sides in. Now what we're gonna do is once our excavation's finished for our reservoir, we're gonna lay some fabric in, and then we're gonna put sand in as a cushioning layer and then fabric on top of that. That's gonna protect our liner completely, so we don't have to worry about any of this gravel getting to the liner and puncturing it. The reservoir's done. We're ready to start rocking. We're gonna start setting some frame rocks inside the reservoir, running plumbing up the top, and building a waterfall. We're on to day 2 here. We're having a challenge now where the machine that we have can only reach so far, and that rock that's back behind where Steve is standing is as far as we can reach with the machine. So that means the other 4 feet behind it we're gonna have to do mostly by hand and get the biggest boulders we can with just us picking them up. We got to make sure that we stay in scale with what's in front of it. Otherwise, if it just starts to fade off to a bunch of small rocks, it's not going to look very good. So this is going to be our challenge today. Quick update on progress here. Boulevard's over here working on getting our irrigation box in, which has got our power cords in it from our pumps, which are over here. We do a chase over to that. We've got our reservoir in place. We've started to build the waterfalls. Here's a spill here. There's another one back there. That rock there is gonna frame a waterfall. Every time I put my finger there, it goes out of focus. So we're gonna do a rock somewhere in the middle here because we're gonna have a waterfall coming like this and like this, pool up right there. And then in between these 2 rocks, it'll be spilling down. Same thing over here. There's gonna be a waterfall coming in between these 2 rocks. That's gonna go into a little pool and then spill off of that rock, stream through this crevice here, and these 2 meet up and come over this rock here. So they'll come off of this and then down this little piece right here. There'll be some other rock work over in here, which this will bounce off of, pool up, and then finally down into the reservoir. You can see we've got our conduit going in for lighting. All these cascades will be lit up with our LED lighting. And finally, the top is where we're gonna be starting. There'll be like an 18-inch spill coming down into a pooling area there. We've got a lot going on in this small space, and it is quite a bit of work. When you're working in a small space like this with bigger boulders, it actually takes a little bit longer than if we had some more room to work and even larger boulders. So we'll be doing some intricate work inside here, getting it finished. Keep on watching. We're in the home stretch here. We've got a lot of the waterfall finished. This is our day 3 on this project. Usually a waterfall this size, 2 days, but there's a lot of detail work going on here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Something we haven't done a lot of in a while is slate work. Stuff like this. Slate work there, there's some slate work there. Up in these waterfalls, you can see Bolivar's working on some cool stack stuff. That's something that we are incorporating into this waterfall. And you see how we put this driftwood stump in here? Oh, my finger in the way, you can't. So here's a driftwood stump. See the moss that meets up to it right in the root work. And then up top here, we've got some moss. Right next to it is our slate work, and we've got boulders planted all around it, so it looks like it simply grew in between the rocks, just what we're after. The other thing is integrating into existing stonework. So there's a stone wall here, so we've got to do some tie-in that makes it look like this all belongs here. We'll do it with moss. We've got some plants here that we're going to incorporate, some aquatic planting. We've got aquatic planting beds here. Just to give you an idea, we've got a waterfall starting up here. It's going to fall down and then off this rock into this deep little chasm over here. We've got another set of waterfalls that are starting up around the back of that rock, splitting around it and then splitting back in, falling off these rocks, meeting up in that pooling area with this waterfall and working its way around. We've got a big presentation waterfall here, actually going to come off of this rock and then slope down back into itself. And then we've got a little feeder going around this side, waterfall next to this stump. It'll go through this little crevice here and down here. And this is the last waterfall on this side. We will be finished today, but in order for us to finish, we better get started. Back to work. It's 7:52 p.m. Here's my reality. So we're gonna finish this tonight. We actually have to go back and load up for another job, which we're starting tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna get the guys set up in the morning, then I'll come here, I'll take the finished shots. This way it looks beautiful and we can actually see it with the camera. Give me 2 seconds. And we're back, and it's done. Check this out. Here we go, beautiful cascading waterfall. We have 2 Aquasurge 4,000 to 8,000 remote control pumps. There are the receivers right there for the pumps. Out of the right side, we've got 1 pump flowing, and the other side is the other pump. They converge down the middle here, and that's what gives us this massive amount of flow down the bottom. This is one of my favorite parts of the waterfall. We've got a stump here that's worked in with some slate work and rock and moss. There's moss inside there, hard to tell in the shade. That really turned out fantastic. It's full of lights. There's 10 lights in here, so at nighttime, it's really gonna look amazing. Standing back at the house, you got the gazebo, that amazing view, and there's the waterfall just transmitting sound through the whole space. It's a nice, peaceful sound. It's not overpowering. We weren't looking to build Niagara Falls here, but something that you could still have a conversation over, and I think we nailed it. That's all we got this time. Thanks for checking us out, guys. I'm gonna show you some more of this waterfall after I'm done talking, because I know I've been getting some feedback. People want to see more of the water features, so I'm gonna give you that. In the meantime, subscribe below, leave me a comment. I read all the comments, I try to respond to you guys, and I'm listening to what you're saying. And leave me a like if you like what we're doing over here. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Stop.